This tutorial is for the online version, so to begin, we'll go to scripturetyper.com. Create an account by clicking Sign Up. Complete the information and click Join. Click on your name in the bottom left corner. We're going to focus on setting our preferences. The other categories are self-explanatory and can be set up later. So first, click Preferences. Then enter the name you'd like displayed and choose the translation you use most often. I've not chosen to automatically convert my verses to a particular translation because I like different translations for different verses, but that's my own preference. Under Review Options, I choose Daily if needed. As you memorize each verse, this will automatically advance. This can also be changed for each individual verse. Review Type. If you choose Memorize, the entire verse will appear. If you choose Master, it will leave the space blank so that you can type it. I've chosen Master because if my verse is up for review, I've already mastered it. I don't need to repeat the memorization phase. If I'm having trouble, I can choose to go back to memorizing when I open the verse. I have mine set to type everything, but you might prefer to type the first letter of each word. Choose to type the verse reference if you'd like to memorize where the verse is found. When you're memorizing a collection, as we'll be doing, you probably will not want to click that box. That way you won't have to type the reference between each verse. And then you can change it later for other verses that you memorize. I prefer not to worry about punctuation, but I do like heat maps. If you miss a word, you'll see a faint pink spot in the spot where you missed the word the next time you review it. The more often you miss a word, the deeper the color of the pink. Click Block Communications if you do not want to receive emails from Scripture Typer. Now click Save Preferences. This should take you back to the home page. Now we'll import our verses. For our purposes in this video, we are going to memorize a collection for Community Bible Study. So click Create a Collection, and that way you'll have the option of memorizing all the verses together or choosing one verse at a time. Now give your collection a name and click Save. Your collection appears on the home page. Click on the collection name and a box will appear. Click Add or Import Verses. Type in the scripture reference. For Community Bible Study, it is Acts 17, verses 22 through 31. Choose the translation you prefer. We're going to learn this in the English Standard Version. Make sure Split into Individual Verses is selected. Click Import Verse and then Save. You'll see confirmation that the verses were imported. Now click Close. When you click on your collection, a pop-up appears with the scriptures listed. Click on the first scripture reference, Acts 17:22, and you can start memorizing your verse. This is step 1, type it. Simply type the verse. If you have chosen the first letter of each word, that's all you need to type. When you've met the criteria you've set in your preferences, it will advance you to step 2, which is memorize it. If you don't feel you're ready, you can click on step 1 to go back. If you choose to move on, click Memorize it. Now the verse appears with words missing. Start typing, and if you get stuck, you can click Hint, and the next few words will appear. Note that you can also change your typing options by clicking on the box next to the Hint box. Each time you go through the verse, a different word disappears. It will tell you when you're ready to move on, and then you'll click Master it. Now a blank screen appears, so you can type the verse entirely from memory. If you don't get it, you will have to repeat it. Click Retry. When you've mastered it, it will show you when you'll review it next. As you successfully review, the review interval will be increased. If you're not ready for this, click there and you can change it by clicking on the up-down arrow. If you don't feel you're ready to move on, click Retry. If you're ready to move on, click on the forward arrow and it will move to the next verse. Now when you log in, you'll click Review at the top of the home screen and then click Start the Review. Just under the Start the Review button, you'll see Maximum Review Frequency. If you don't set a maximum, it will continue to space the review farther and farther apart. You can choose to set a maximum by clicking here. This is how I review the majority of my verses. However, I do prefer to review my collections in blocks rather than one verse at a time. In order to do this, rather than clicking on Review, you'll click on your collection name. If you don't see your collection, click on My Verses at the top of the page. Then click your collection and choose Review All Verses Combined Together on the pop-up menu and begin your review. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Please feel free to leave comments below.